This story begins in a small, forgotten neighborhood, a place where people learned not to ask questions. Because questions only led to uncomfortable answers. 11-year-old Lena Moore was known by everyone as the quiet girl. She rarely smiled, she rarely spoke. And instead of playing with other children, she simply watched them. Teachers noticed her behavior early on. Sudden bursts of anger, long moments of emotional emptiness. And a strange curiosity about dark subjects, things no child her age should ever understand. Lena's home was not a safe place. Her mother battled addiction. Her father was never around. Neglect became normal, fear became routine. No one intervened when the warning signs appeared, when animals in the area were found injured, when other children whispered that Lena had threatened them. When disturbing messages began appearing on torn pieces of paper, adults chose to look away. To the outside world, Lena Moore was just another troubled child. But beneath her silence, something dark was taking shape, something patient, something watching. And no one realized the truth. The danger was already closer than anyone could imagine. One quiet afternoon, the neighborhood was shaken. 4-year-old Ethan Cole was found unconscious in an abandoned building. Authorities called it a tragic accident, a fall, maybe careless play. But some neighbors whispered something strange. They had seen Lena with Ethan earlier that day. Some even remembered hearing an argument coming from a child barely 11. Still, police dismissed it. Who would suspect someone so young? Days later, Lena returned to school. No tears, no fear, just silence. She even asked teachers chilling questions about death, questions that made everyone uneasy. The case was closed far too quickly, and that mistake would prove deadly. Because that first incident wasn't an accident at all, it was only the beginning. Just weeks later, the neighborhood faced another tragedy. 3-year-old Noah Briggs was found dead in a storage area near his home. This time, there were clear signs of violence. Deliberate, controlled, unmistakably intentional, panic spread quickly. Parents stopped letting their children play outside. Police reopened the earlier case, now realizing the chilling connection. Witness statements, past complaints, and disturbing notes all pointed toward one person, Lena Moore. When questioned, her behavior stunned investigators. She showed no remorse. Instead, she spoke calmly, describing events with unsettling detail. Experts later described her emotional detachment as deeply abnormal for a child her age. It became clear that Lena was not acting out of impulse. She understood exactly what she was doing. And the truth was more horrifying than anyone had imagined. The threat had been hiding in plain sight all along. The courtroom was silent as Lena Moore entered, barely tall enough to see over the desk. The public struggled to accept what they were witnessing, a child accused of killing other children. Psychologists testified about Lena's severely damaged mental state, shaped by years of neglect and abuse. They explained how untreated trauma can distort empathy and moral understanding. The court ultimately ruled that Lena suffered from diminished responsibility. She was found guilty of manslaughter rather than murder, and sentenced to an indefinite term in a juvenile psychiatric facility. The verdict divided the nation. Some saw her as a victim of her upbringing. Others believed she was a monster who could never be rehabilitated. As Lena was led away, she showed no emotion, no tears, no fear, only that same quiet stare, one that haunted everyone who saw it. Lena spent over a decade in institutions, undergoing intense psychological treatment. Reports suggested gradual improvement, but many experts remained skeptical. Eventually, she was released under a new identity, protected by law to prevent public retaliation. Her story faded from headlines, but it never truly disappeared. It became a case study in criminal psychology, child development, and systemic failure. Today, the story of Lena Moore raises painful questions. Could earlier intervention have changed the outcome? Did society fail her before she failed others? This is not just a story about crime. It is a story about ignored warning signs, broken systems, and how darkness can grow when silence replaces action. Sometimes, the most terrifying dangers don't come from strangers. They come from the children no one listened to.